Hello, this is Miss Nivens. Today we're going to look at Unit 10, Lesson 4. Students will factor trinomials when A is 1, and we will discuss what A means. You've seen this. It's the steps to successful factoring. The first step is to always look for a GCF. That is not going to change. The second step is to determine how many terms are in the polynomial. Our last lesson was on 4 terms, where we did factor by grouping. Today, we're going to work with 3 terms, which is called trinomial factoring. The general form for a quadratic equation is this ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A and b and c are the coefficients. For example, let's consider this trinomial. X squared plus 7x plus 6. A, and this one would be 1. And there's what we said on our objective when A is 1. B, and this one is 7. And C is the constant, which is 6. Now, I got this fancy little x over here, and we're going to show you how to use that. First, you're going to find out, you're going to multiply A times C. Well, luckily, we got the easy math today. A times C is 1 times 6, which is 6. So in the top of that fancy x, we're going to put the product of A and C, which is 6. On the bottom, we're going to place B, and that is 7. Now, how we're going to use this is we're going to figure out what can I multiply to get 6 and add to get 7. So what you can multiply to get 6 and add to get 7? And that is 1 and 6. Okay? So that's how we use the x. And next we're going to try a different problem. We're going to use the x, but we're going to finish factoring. Let's try another one. So we have the x to the right. Always look for the GCF. I have p squared plus 5p plus 6. I do not have a GCF. So I'm going to multiply a times c, and that's 1 times 6, and I will get 6. The next one, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to put the b at the bottom. And then I have to ask myself, what can I multiply to get 6 and add to get 5? So I have to remember our factors. You could try 1 and 6. That won't work. The other one is 2 and 3. Well, that will work. 2 times 3 is 6, but 2 plus 3 is 5. So that's the ones we want to use. Now what we're doing is we're going to call it split in the middle. So we're going to rewrite this trinomial as a polynomial of 4 terms. So we'll start with p squared, and we're going to split 5p into 2p plus 3p. Split the middle. Do you agree that 5p is the same thing as 2p plus 3p? Yes. And then we bring down the positive 6. From here, we're going to factor by grouping, which you've learned, and factor what they have in common. The first one has in common a GCF of p. That leaves p plus 2. The next one, factor out a plus 3, a positive 3, gives me p plus 2. And our final answer is, the GCF here is p plus 2. So we have p plus 2 times p plus 3. Now, if we wanted to check this, we could do the FOIL, and we would get p squared plus 5p equals plus 6. Let's try another one. Try the x to the right. Now we're looking at what is a times c. So that's 1 times negative 12. That matters. And at the bottom is b. In this case, it is negative 1. Well, what can I multiply to get negative 12 and add to get negative 1? So I know that I'm going to have to positive and a negative. So we could try 12 and 1, but that won't work. We could try 2 and 6. We could try 3 and 4. Well, I'm liking the looks of 3 and 4 because there's only a difference between 1. So which one's going to be positive and which one's going to be negative? Well, it would be -4 and +3. So we're going to split the middle. So x squared and then minus 4x plus 3x. On this part, it does not matter if you write plus 3x and then minus 4x. That order does not matter. It'll still work either way. And then we're going to factor by grouping. Wait a minute. Okay, I apologize. And factor out an x, and we have x minus 4. Factor out a +3, and we have x minus 4. So my final answer is x minus 4 times x plus 3. One more try. If you would like, pause the video and see if you can do it. All right, draw your x. What can I multiply? A times c, which is 1 times -12, and add to get 4. And we can use the same factors from before. I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I like the looks of 2 and 6. So I need to multiply which one's going to be positive, which one's going to be negative. And it's okay. We have a +6 and a -2. Very good. And we will split the middle. Again, it doesn't matter which order you place these in. It will work both ways. Factor by grouping. Factor out a p. So you end up with p minus 2. Factor out a +6, p minus 2. And then factor out your GCF, which is p minus 2. And you end up with p plus 6. And that's our final answer. If we went the next step and did the distributive property, we would get p squared plus 4p minus 12. Now, to review, the first step in factoring is to always look for a GCF. Next, we should decide how many terms are in the polynomial. To factor a trinomial, we should try the sum product method. We can check the accuracy for our factoring by multiplying the factors to see if the product matches our original polynomial. For homework, complete the Unit 10 Lesson 4 Google form from your teacher's website. You guys have a good night.